Hello everybody, my name is Terminus, and today we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're actually gonna be playing a game. I've thought about what I actually wanted to play, because this is mainly I want to play certain video games and I don't have the time to do so normally, so I'm just gonna sit my ass down and actually play it right here with you, right? Provide you with some content that you might be interested in. I don't know how many of you are actually interested in video games, and if you're not, then that's fine too, and we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna find out how we proceed, right? With if nobody's gonna watch that or is interested in it, we're gonna not continue, and this is not gonna be like a regularly scheduled thing. This is more gonna be like, hey, I had time recording the game again, and I'm gonna put it out, right? I was in the mood to play a game, and I recorded it, and I'm doing it. And the same way, I kind of want to set somewhat of an expectation of what you can expect for the game itself. This is not going to be a psych student comes in and explains every psychological concept and analyzes every character. We might sit ourselves down every once in a while and be like, okay, I think this character works like this, or this is their motivation, or this is a very interesting concept, right? We might talk about psychology here and there, as you might be used to from my anime reactions and whatnot. But we're not going to do it consistently. It's more going to be a let's sit down, have a chill time with a game, have fun exploring the game and finding out what the characters are and the world. Yeah, and just have fun doing it, because this is such an amazing game. Like, I started this game, I bought it a couple of years ago when it was fairly new, and I started it up a couple of times, but I never really got further than an hour or two into it. Because each time I kind of got held up and life got in the way, and then when I was ready to play it again, I was like, I don't want to start where I ended up, because there's so many things that I kind of forgot and I'm out of it now, so let's just start anew. So I never gotten really far. But I'm really excited about this. I'm on vacation right now, as you can maybe see from the background. We're just gonna go in and just gonna see how that works and everything. Do let me know how you think the audio is in terms of like the balancing. I actually am recording two audio tracks, so I hope I can post balance it if there's some issue with the level of volume I'm talking at and the level of volume the game has. I do hope everything else is kind of set up the way I want it to be. And let's go in with a new game. Now, from what I do remember of this character, we do have like these custom character sheets, and but we do also have the ability to create our own character. So let's actually go in and create our own character here. Yeah, I looked that up in the start in terms of like, I just looked at it and was like, how could I do this in order to kind of shorten the time that you guys are going to be able to see this or have to see this. And I was thinking, do I want to do something that is more in line with who I am, right? Like, kind of play my own character as our MC, or do I want to just go for it and do some random character? I'd say if we had to represent if we had to represent me as a person, we'd probably need to go all the way down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, okay? I don't consider myself this bad, but I would like to have at least one skill in terms of like the physical stuff that we do have, and one skill in terms of the intellectual, or in this case, psyche, that we can assign here. I don't know what exactly I want from this. I think motorics is actually more in line with how I work, right? Being a little bit more flexible, being able to react quickly sounds a little bit more on point to me than physique, in terms of, especially if I remember, it's not just being able to be strong, but also being aggressive and being intimidating and being in tune with the city, right, with drugs and whatnot. I don't see myself on that level. I don't do any drugs. I generally I mean, I can stand my ground, but I'm not somebody who likes to go around intimidating people or getting aggressive or whatnot. So this is probably the least one, and I don't mind being either weak or terrible within that. I think motorics is actually a very good skill. I don't know if I would go to genius, but I might be going to good on this one. And then we have like raw brain power, intellect versus psyche, which is probably the most hard choice I'd have to make. So let's, for example, assume I have like good, like above average intelligence. We can only go to 3 on psyche. I don't think that's something I would probably go for, especially as like a psychologist and whatnot. We want to be a little bit more sensitive, but actually I'm gonna go one further, right? And I'm gonna look into what kind of specific skills we do have here. So in the intellect category, we do have logic skill. By the way, tell me how big all of these words are for you, if that's readable for you. If not, we might look into making the interface a little bit bigger in order for viewers to be able to better read all of that alongside me. Either way, we got logic, wield raw intellectual power, deduce the world. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty spot on. Call upon all of your knowledge, produce fascinating trivia. Practice the art of persuasion, enjoy rigorous intellectual discourse. It's interesting, I would almost put that more into the psyche category, but it makes sense anyway. Drama, play the actor, lie and detect lies. Conceptualization, understand creativity, see art in the world. And visual calculus, reconstruct crime scenes, make laws of physics work for the law. Yeah, those seem very useful, especially if we're going into like a quasi-detective or RPG-style story. We do have, in the category of psyche, volition, hold yourself together, keep your morale up. This is going to be important because morale is going to be one of our resources that we can't lose too much of, if I remember correctly. And then we do have Inland Empire, which is hunches and gut feelings, dreams in waking life. Right? A lot of this psyche thing is more on the lucid, I don't know, acid trip kind of deal. Makes sense, of course. Empathy, understand others, work your mirror neurons. This is going to be very important for us if we interact with other people and try to understand where they're coming from, right? What are they hiding? Why are they hiding what they're hiding? Well, intellect would probably be more like, what are they hiding, right? Find it out with logic. And empathy would be, why are they hiding it in the first place? Authority, intimidate the public, assert yourself. Do so, probably. Esprit de corps. Connect this to Station 41, understand cop culture. And suggestion, charm, man, women, play the puppet master. Very interesting because we do have suggestion, which is like charming, but we also have something like persuasion, right? I guess those are two different ways to persuade people, right? Suggestion being more on the affective side, right? The emotional side, and rhetoric more being on the side of I can just talk people into something without having to maybe feel myself into them. We do have endurance, take the blows, don't let the world kill you. Yeah. Pain threshold, shrug off the pain, they'll have to hurt you more. Physical instruments, flex powerful muscles, enjoy healthy organs. Electrochemistry, go to party planet, love and be loved by drugs. Shivers, raise the hair on your neck, tune into the city. Almost looks like very cyberpunkish, to be honest. And half-light, let the body take control, threaten people. We do have motorics, which is hand-eye coordinations, being able to ready, aim, fire, being able to shoot people properly, right? Perception, see, hear, and smell everything. Let no detail go unnoticed. This is very important. I think we should have that high. That's why I wanted to go into motorics. Because first of all, us being able to, I don't know, pick locks, for example, us being able to shoot a gun, us being able to kind of maybe, I don't know, you got some cables, you need to get to the right one, or you got to defuse a bomb. I don't know what's going to happen, right? all of these things are probably going to come up with that, especially when it comes to stuff like reaction speed, the quickest to react, an untouchable man. And then savoir-faire, sneak under their noses, stun with immense panache, which is stealth, and I do really love stealth in games. I mean, this is probably going to be like more of a top-down RPG stealth kind of style, but even that, right? Sneak into compounds, find stuff out if people deny you entry, that's going to be important. Interfacing, master machines, pick locks and pockets, and composure, straighten your back, keep your poker face. This is also going to be good, because if we combine that with something like lying and detecting lies and stuff like that, it's going to be really cool. So here's where our decision comes in. I know I'm going to have Psyche on 1. It's probably going to be dangerous because we're not going to have as much health and we're going to be very easily affected by certain stuff. Obviously, we could go the druggy cop road where we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna just, right? I take drugs, but I can do shit anyway, right? I'm like, let me just snort some cocaine and then solve the case. But I think it's more interesting to go with a strong combination of concepts, of abilities and characteristics that we have here. 2 choices ahead, which I kind of consider. One of them is we're gonna go into those 3, right? Intellect, psyche, motorics, and we're gonna find one of them to go up to 5 and 2 of them to go to 3. Or we're gonna find 2 of them up to 4 and 1 of them to 3. Or alternatively, we could try to go up to 6 on one of them and actually go to up to 3 on others. That would kind of specialize it in us in a certain way where we are locked out of a couple of challenges that we have to do. But we would be like the genius, for example, in terms of intellect, or like the person who's like the most insane reaction speed and like the most handy person ever. Which would probably open us up for, like, open up some doors for us to be really, really good in certain things. I'm kind of contemplating both. I know we can level up. I don't know if we can level up the stats themselves, right? Like intellect, psyche, motorics, or if we can only level up the skills within those. So this is going to be a very big determinant on what we're going to do. Honestly, I would like to tune in more to like the psyche stuff, but for me that has less things that are interesting for me. Logic, encyclopedia, rhetoric, drama, conceptualization, and visual calculus are all stuff that I want to go into. Volition, meh, right? It's more like a safety net where I'm like, okay, yeah, I like to be a little bit crazy, so I don't need to keep my morale up all the way, right? I like the struggle. Inland Empire is a really, really cool thing, but I think it's okay if it's somewhere in between and we can level it up down the way. Empathy, very important. Also something I want to level up. Authority can be useful. I don't know if I need it to be all the way up. Cop culture, I mean, I've been a cop for a long time, supposedly, right? At least when we judge from like the... I've seen the main character and he looks pretty seasoned, so... Unless he had another backstory, that is. But I would say that it's important, but it's not like the top priority. And suggestion is something that rhetoric can actually take over. For motorics, we have, I want this, I want perception, I want reaction speed, I want savoir-faire, I want interfacing, and I want composure. I want all of these. But I don't think I have to have them on like max skills. So what I'm thinking is, maybe we're gonna go 5 into intelligence, 4 into this, but then we have to go 2 into this, right? We need 2 which are really, really good, and I don't wanna, like... I don't wanna be just the person who thinks. I want to have like some talent in stuff like motorics, for example, right? Being quick on the uptake, all of that shit. So I'd say like we go 4-4-3, and we'll see if that works out for us. We might start over at some point, I don't know. It's really interesting to go like for the genius route, where I'm like just like, yes, I know everything that's happening. But I think to experience the breadth, right, everything that this series, like this game has to offer, it's better to go into multiple categories just to have the chance to pass more checks. So this is where I'm going. 4 intellect, 3 psyche, 4 motorics. That sounds like a really good thing to me, right? Somebody who's very tuned in, maybe has some empathy and whatnot. And that's what we're gonna raise, I think. Because we have like logic, encyclopedia, all of that is already way up there. So I'd say the first thing I would like to raise kind of is empathy, or maybe like, you know what? If I remember, we crashed and burned in the beginning. So maybe empathy is exactly what we're trying to tune out right now. And this is something that has to redevelop from what we had. So, what do we put on, like, the conceptualization, art and drama, right? Encyclopedia, we have a lot of knowledge, which is cool. Logic. Understanding pop culture. Oh, this is so hard. Yeah, no, we're gonna go with empathy. Right? I don't know if your signature is actually gonna be something that we're like, oh yeah, you have 1 point in this from the start, or if it's more like, this is actually something you can really tap into. I do hope it's... I hope it's rather the former, where it's just like, this is your first skill that you more or less level up. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? The problem I see with like all of the other things, pain threshold, physical instrument, endurance, whatever, we can only raise that by 1, which is insane, right? We only have 2 in the end of that. I don't know, but I guess that's just how it goes. We can't, like, we have to make sacrifices on something. Just like the maximum we go to those is 8. The maximum we can go to those with is actually there's 4 on top of that, which is very interesting. I wonder why this is saying 4 and not 3. Because here we have 1, right? And it's saying 1. So I do wonder why this is... Let me actually check that out for a second. Let me say, like, this is 2 and this is 2. Would we have 2 on top of that? No, we have 3 here, right? So I guess this raises the entire stack. What if my signature skill is going to be something else? Let me set the signature here, right? We're down to 2 and we're up to 3 here. This is actually really cool. So what I can do is... Because it raises the entire category, right? Holy shit, this is so hard. And I thought we were done with this shit. So it raises the entire category of the stack that we have. So if I go into a signature skill that is over here, we would have 5 that we could add to all of these. Holy. Okay, you know what? I have an idea. An idea forms inside of my head. We go back. Toric's gonna be 3, right? Let me cook. I don't need this shit. We're gonna go past this. 335 is gonna be really cool because it means with the signature skill here we can raise that by 4, each of those by 4, which is insane. You have reaction speeds of warfare, interfacing, reception, hand-eye coordination. This could be us getting back into form, right? Getting our senses back, getting our general, just like all of the stuff back that we already had. But we have an incredible poker face, right? But like hardened to a degree. We can get like up to 6 on this, we can get up to 10 on this, we can get up to 7 on this, which seems very balanced, right? 8, 7, 6, and then we have 2 on this. The only thing that I feel like is any good in this capacity is like something like Half-Light or Pain Threshold or Endurance, but all of that is not necessarily like healthy organs, dude. We wake up in a, I mean, obviously having played this game before, I know where we wake up and how we wake up, so. Yeah, actually, we put in like hand-eye coordination because this could be important in any part of the story. We're just very good at that shit. First things we would be trying to level up is one of the intellect skills, probably empathy, and then we're gonna go into perception, reaction speed, stuff like that. So yeah, just gonna, pretty much this is gonna be it, right? Our signature is being able to do this. Yeah, I think this sounds good. Let's do that. Let's go in there and start the game. The Furious are at home in the mirror. It is their address. Even the clearest road if deep enough can drown. R.S. Thomas.
There is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness.
I love this intro. It's
Your
amazing.
Conscious ferments in it. No larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore.
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing sometimes?
Ever. Never, ever.
I think we'll just keep it on non-existing.
An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing upon nothing. Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage. All right. Nothing down to fuck all borough.
You got it, man. You got it. Sometimes you just gotta do nothing. You just gotta be nothing. Sometimes everything's just too much. Even a little bit. I understand.
Great choice, Elder One. It has always been like this, and it always will.
Reassuring, isn't it?
The song of death is sweet and endless. But what is this? Somewhere in the sore, bloated man meet around you. A sensation.
No, I don't want to wake up, Mom. I don't want to.
Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting, longing, dancing to disco music.
Mother help me, there's a head attached to my neck, and I'm in it.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth. And with it, an ungodly headache.
Oh no. Help. Someone cut my head off, it's trying to murder the rest of me.
A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
This is it. I found my maker.
You know what it is. A Caprice Kinema motor carriage.
A Caprice Kinema. Alright. And as such, very slowly, we awaken to this world of pain and suffering. And we are once again forced to find meaning within it. despite our best efforts. Welcome. Welcome everybody to, well, to Disco Elysium. I don't even know what am I doing here? I have no idea. Don't even quite know what I'm supposed to... Let me just get up the controls because I need to see how I highlight stuff. Oh yeah, tab. Okay, or mouse, right mouse button? Oh no, I can't. I know why I can't. My right mouse button is not working on this mouse. I'm sorry about that. This magnum-sized bottle of Commodore Red is empty. Alright. Looks like this is part of my clothes.
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants.
I got
It
some
says whirling
keys
on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door.
So this is the place we're in. Whirling in rags. Well, I know another person who's whirling in rags right now.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
What's happening out
The
there?
light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean and some war-torn buildings.
So we're at the ocean. Alright. Smell the salt. That is a very easy check, it seems. We're gonna find out what the damage is.
The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
So I vandalized my room. Okay, cool.
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
So who did I beat up? What? Who did I beat up? What the fuck?
More likely a projectile than a held object.
Okay.
There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
I would still like to know who I beat up, but let's look what's happening right here. Wait, what am I doing?
Something you've done before.
Ooh, interesting. Assess the side of the impact.
It is too large for
Size,
a bullet,
sorry.
yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist.
Yeah. I think it might be something.
Like the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the corner, which, coincidentally, is missing its friend.
So I threw my shoe out the window for whatever ungodly reason.
Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. If you're lucky, you can still find the other on the balcony outside. The door to it should be outside your room.
Maybe it wasn't me.
You mean someone else took your shoe off and smashed the window with it?
And maybe I was partying. Maybe somebody was with me.
This person also forced the drinks on you.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
A cool wind gushes in.
Yeah, I mean, I should get my
Toes
shoe.
curl up from the cold.
But not right now. Alright, let me see. Pants. Those golden brown trousers are flare cut. Normal belly button trousers would be boot cut, but these are far from normal. They're someone's piss-soaked cum-stained party pants. Oh, I forgot how fucking brutal some of these descriptions are. Find your other shoe. Seems like a green snakeskin shoe is missing its partner. You should find it before you go venturing into the wild unknown. 2 shoes are better than 1. Unite them again. Alright. We're gonna be doing that. In just a second. We're still kind of figuring out what else we can pick up here. Looks like my jacket. Oh no, it's a blazer. Okay. I mean, same difference, but you know. Looks like someone skinned this blazer of some long extinct disco animal. It has an enigmatic white rectangle on the back and the right sleeve. Alright. So... oh, we can even turn that. That's cool. Right, white rectangle on the back and the sleeve. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a rectangle. And we're getting esprit de corps from this, which is like pop culture thing, right? And we're getting electrochemistry on this one. tight around the crotch. Oh. No comment. And mine's one savoir-faire tied around the thighs, right? Alright, so we don't like the tied around the thighs. That is kind of... That's killing our style, right? What was savoir-faire again? Sneak under the nose or stun with immense panache. So... Alright, it's a friction, right? It's making a sound, and that's why it doesn't help us with being unnoticed. Maybe it's also just very visible, like the trousers.
This fan has 2 chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades.
Pull on the light bulb.
A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the photons burning a hole in your brain.
Alright.
Lights are off.
Hallelujah. We could pull the fan.
The blades come squeaking to a halt.
Nice.
It should be easier to reach the tie now.
Rabbit.
You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade. What you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie.
I love it.
4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose.
Of course it does. Of course. Alright, we have our necktie. Holy shit. The necktie is adorned with a garnish pattern. It's disturbingly vivid. Somehow you feel as if it would be wrong to ever take it off. It's your friend now. You will betray it if you change it for something boring. For some boring scarf. I don't know why I read something boring. Maybe I'm just too far away from the screen. Let me just... sorry about that. I'm not gonna cut this out, I'm sorry. I do have like the dialogue text size up, but the menu size is a little bit slow. Maybe if I go back, it's gonna be a little bit bigger now? Well, we'll have to see. Oh yeah, this is better. Right, this is way better. And we have Inland Empire, Vivid Imagination. It looks really cool, the necktie, to be honest. It doesn't look horrific. I mean, maybe it looks horrific in terms of like how it fits us in general, like with the rest of the outfit. You see bottles in the bathtub, wine, beer, and sweet liquors. And this is my white satin shirt. Mine's one suggestion. Why? Why? This white satin shirt used to be fancy. Used to really catch the light. Now it smells like someone took a piss in the armpits. Oh, please. Bring your shit to the cleaner. +1 conceptualization. A real statement to wear. Okay, -1 suggestion because unsavory odor. Okay, so we need a shirt that's just like this one, just doesn't smell. Just throw it away, get a new one, right?
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off.
Masculine energy. Of course.
It's not the same Elon that founds empires and lays waste to cities, virile, uncaring towards the little things.
Elon. We have a similar word here in Germany. I think it's maybe even Frenchland, and it means something like energy, right? Like the same like spontaneous energy, right? The same Elon that found empires and lays waste to cities, virile, uncaring towards the little things. Alright. What, revolution?
Probably not, no.
Alright, you never mind, never mind.
Hot water sprays from the
They got us in the
faucet
first half.
and steam
Not gonna
covers
lie.
the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the vague impression of a man.
Am I a man who makes a vague impression?
Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor.
That's called amnesia. Really? Nothing?
Really, all recollection of the person you are, the people in your life, and even the world you're in has drowned in a sea of blood alcohol. This was no mere night of drinking.
Yeah,
It was a deluge of world-ending proportions.
yeah, almost world-ending probably for you, right? Like if you drank so much you forgot everything, then yeah, you must have come pretty close to death. That's that's a good amount of brain damage. Alright, we wipe the mirror, we see what we look
As you
like.
slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror.
Yes.
Abort. You clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it.
I mean, we are it for all intents and purposes for everybody else, so we might as well see what we're working with. Maybe I should touch it first.
Yeah, there is definitely something wrong with it.
How bad could it be?
Where to even begin? There is the bloatedness, then the swollenness. It's like there's an upholstery of alcohol underneath your skin.
Ah, yes. I'm sure everything is fine.
It's not. Your nose feels like a small balloon in the middle of your face. It hurts when you honk it. It doesn't appear to be a particularly tiny nose either. Not with all the drinks it's absorbed for you.
Holy shit. At least my tongue is okay.
It's not. It's swollen and snail-like, wriggling between your fingers.
Ugh. I'm scared. I wanted to stop that. No, you know what? We wiped the mirror. When we ain't no worse.
Behold.
I mean, could have been worse. Honestly, I think the image in the lower left is way worse than the image that we see right here. That's actually an okay looking dude who is kind of washed up, but this is like an undead or something.
You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
Of course, it's is it some kind of superstar? I think I'm a superstar.
It appears you're also dead. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why?
It might be because I'm a superstar. I'm not making it, the face is making it itself. I have no idea why it is there, it just is. I think it might be because I'm a superstar.
Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself.
No, this is what superstars do.
You can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face, and now it won't come off.
That's not true.
What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
Oh god, I don't know, it's undescribable. I think it's supposed to look suggestive. I'm afraid it's meant for the ladies. I'm insinuating that I'm vaguely sympathetic. I think I'm sort of pulling it off too in a sad has-been kind of way. There's some charm to it. It's an expression of pain. Well, superstardom would be funny, right? And we'll want to lean into it, but I think that would be too much. We're just going to be honest and we're going to say it's an expression of pain.
You are correct.
Alright, dig deep into the mind and locate the source of the expression. Encyclopedia. Or electrochemistry, attempt to stop the expression from happening. Yeah, ain't no chance we're gonna do this, but we're gonna try that.
Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past.
Damn.
That's all you know.
Okay. We don't know.
It's too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to your primary motor cortex.
Alright, I guess that's it.
A minor neurological miracle for you to cease producing it.
The minor, the primary motor cortex is, by the way, right here. Like in the middle, upper side of the brain, right? Like this is the temporal lobe. And up here, right, we do have the primary motor cortex. And it's responsible for most of your, like, yeah, your motor functions, right? Everything we do to move, and that includes facial expressions. I guess we'll have to find a way to create a minor neurological miracle. At least it's not going to be a major neurological miracle. Alright, we'll leave the mirror for now. I think we've seen enough. We've done enough damage. I think this door was locked, right? Yeah. Remember that correctly from back in the day. Can we please hurry? What the fuck even are we doing? Alright, there's an empty cassette tape. Looks like someone tore out the tape while the song was playing. Oh, I mean, okay, cool. This reel-to-reel tape player is still on, rolling empty. Maybe we should turn it off at some point in time. There used to be a tape in this case, but it was destroyed in a fit of rage. Something about the Etienne's single smallest church in Sancerre must have rubbed someone the wrong way. The label says the song was recorded in 43. What 43? 1943? I hope we're not in 1943, my boys. This would be post-war. I don't want to starve. This green crocodile leather shoe has a high heel and chrome embellishments. It fits your left foot perfectly. Now all that remains is to find the other shoe, which is what we're going to do in just a second. No, wrong one, sorry. I think we've seen everything in here. Yeah, this is the door. So let's try to get out and find our way. Alright, nice. I think we can actually put like the sound a little bit higher, right? The music volume. I'm gonna add a little bit to the reading because of that, right? I'm just gonna put everything up. Weird that we don't have like a master volume. I'm okay with like the sound of the UI, that's fine. Again, do let me know if you like that, dislike that, whatever. Right? Yeah, I like that more. Although I'm actually already I've turned my thing down a little bit so I can hear properly. But this is the first episode, so it's clear that we're not gonna get ahead of everything. Oh, there it is, whirling in rags. That's a billing win. The smell of the sea makes you dizzy. Oh, that's not good. I do like the smell of the sea normally. Oh, my shoe. Nice.
There they both are. Two identical shoes. Both copiously green.
And it's raining, right?
Indiscriminately snakeskin. Reunited on your feet.
I love the art. It's so beautiful.
Like two baby crocodiles.
How do they fit?
Good. They're balanced. Comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told.
Damn it. I mean, at least we have our morale. What's it? Oh yeah, 1 composure, awesome watchtower heals, right, cool. -1 savoir-faire, heals ridiculously high. Yeah, they're loud probably. They may have lost some of their luster over the years, but these green crocodile leather shoes fit you perfectly. Love to see it. You have some people down there. Calendar says it's March, the year's 51. Alright.
Officer.
Officer. Hello, young lady. What do we,
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips.
Klaasje. Miss Orange Disco Dancer. Oranje reminds me of, like, Netherlands, in terms of, like, the association. I don't know if that's what's meant in this specific case, but, you know. Young woman, yeah.
Her eyes are brown, and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28.
Perception, I like it. Alright, 28.
A silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This is the sparkle of too many nights out on the city.
Officer, am I military personnel?
No.
She seems perplexed by your question. Wait, I know, I'm a businessman, chief executive officer, right?
The young woman shakes her head slowly. Officer could be an artistic statement. You're already prone to those.
Indeed. I love the conceptualization image, it's like really cool. Like it's building a face and then you're like thinking. Officer, is my stage name, right? I can see myself as a middling disco artist called The Officer. That's too wild. Chief Technical Officer is what I am.
No, you're a police officer, sir.
You're shitting me.
I'm not. Unless you've been shitting us all this time.
She takes another drag. Well, not that I know of, but alright. All this time? How long have I been here?
You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less.
Yeah, you know what that business is? I don't.
Couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking.
I mean, that's what I got for now, okay?
You have no doubt about the drinking. But do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped drunk? She must have heard something.
Yeah, I mean, that's reasonable. Thank you, Logic. I love, like, I mean, I'm gonna say this often, right? In terms of, like, the art. I do love that because it looks like a Picasso painting. I might not know where I am or who I am, or what caprice kinema is. How I know what one sounds like. Yeah, I mean, are we going somewhere with this? Why don't I remember being a cop or anything else? When the right mind would let me be a police officer or an officer of law? Challenging oh god. I might not know where I am, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I might not know where I am, or who I am, or what a caprice kinema is. How I know what one sounds like.
She nods.
But I do know when someone's not telling me the whole story. What am I doing here? What's my case?
There's a mercenary out back. He's been hanged.
Ooh.
The body has been there for a week now. The locals probably got tired of it and called the cops.
Okay, now we know at least what the general gist of it is. Why didn't you just tell me that?
I didn't mean to overwhelm you with information. You seem a bit lost, officer.
Oh, touche, young lady. Why don't I remember being a cop or anything else? Alright, let me see.
Could it be because of the drinking?
She raises an eyebrow, the cigarette sizzles. It kind of could be. When the right mind would let me be an officer of the law.
Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer.
Yeah, that doesn't encourage me, to be perfectly honest. That just takes my trust in the police and makes it dive all the way down. Okay, we're gonna try this check because it... Oh no, it's a... Oh, cannot be retried. But can it be tried later? That's the question. I mean, it's very unlikely that we even find a way to do this. Are we gonna do this? No, you know what? We're gonna keep that. I've did it in the past couple of times I played, I think. And it never worked out, but here's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to figure out if this is gonna be a thing later when we talk to her again, right? Just to experiment. I should get going now.
Of course.
She puts out her cigarette.
Officer. They don't like the police around here.
Oh yeah, I know. Boy do I know.
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. The need to ask questions. It's like you said the words 1,000,000 times before.
Something in my brain is firing.
She looks back at you.
The old
light
pathways.
glinting off her eyes.
Before you go, I have some questions for you.
Yes.
Tell me, what is it they have against the
dock
police?
workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say about the rest of the city.
Where exactly is here? Where am I?
You're in a hostel, sir.
No, where are we? Where in the world?
We are in Revachol.
Revachol.
Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world, divided into zones of control under foreign occupation. Half a century after a failed world revolution, she is central to our moment in time.
So this is the place. This is where everything happens. Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world, so it's not the capital anymore. divided into zones of control under foreign occupation. Sounds very Germany to me. Well, post-war Germany, right? Half a century after a failed world revolution. So we tried the world revolution, it might have worked out partially, and then everything toppled over and collapsed, and maybe people were, right, occupying us in order to avoid it. I don't know. She is central to our moment in time. Right. Revachol forever. How about you tell me something else instead?
Forever and ever.
Yeah, right. There's a sentiment going with that, right? Almost a nostalgia that bleeds off of your lips, right? Tastes like something familiar. Tell me, is it 51 now?
It's 51.
What century?
The current century?
Yeah, how do we call that? What number?
Centuries don't have numbers. They have names. And this is the current one.
But do we just call it the current one, or is it just the current one and it has a different name? How many centuries have there been?
Civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir.
I mean, yeah, maybe? Honestly, I don't know that. Alright, what's so funny?
You're right. There is nothing funny about civilization.
It's a little bit funny sometimes. Your room is almost next to mine. Did you hear anything last night?
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
Did I throw a party?
I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here.
Nobody knows if I was alone. Very interesting. Loud disco music, you say?
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestration prime among them.
She raises an eyebrow, waiting for the name to connect with you.
Oh, that. Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
Ooh, okay. Washed up, maybe? I don't know. Or maybe it's a sore spot for us.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Yeah, so... It mostly just gets hard, doesn't it?
It would appear so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace.
What happened?
A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat.
Ooh.
That went on for quite a while.
Melancholic?
Some of the time, you were yelling along to it.
Yelling to a sad song. I mean, that's not a good sign. Was I singing this? Show her an empty case of the smallest church in Sanson.
Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also...
Also?
That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now.
Holy shit, that is a low.
It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a winded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
When you say wounded boar, do you mean that in a cool way? Like a wild beast?
Yes. It was very cool.
Damn.
It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic or really means it.
Yeah, it's really impossible.
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
Are you sure I wasn't being assaulted?
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room.
Damn, here goes my excuse.
A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
That doesn't sound good, but that kind of matches what we found when we woke up. Please tell me there wasn't anything else.
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable.
Party animal? Or maybe something else, right? I mean, late stage alcoholic, goddammit.
I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Alright, thanks. You helped me a lot, actually. Okay, you can go.
Glad to have been of assistance.
Appreciate it. Damn. Looks like she left a nice long stub in the ashtray. Still smoking. Alright. Let me see.
The door is closed.
Knock.
There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on. Somewhere inside. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you.
I'm so alone.
The door is indifferent to your loneliness. The world does not care.
Knock again.
Still no answer.
Try the handle.
This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
Knock again, much harder.
Still nothing.
Alright, I guess that's about it. Do let me know if this is grayed out, right? If it's not as vivid anymore, if that is the end of the dialogue tree, like you can't get anything else out of it, or if doing it a couple of times is maybe having some effect sometimes. This is the weekend edition of the satirical newspaper Tremblement. Okay, cool. I think we actually going for a good deal now. Maybe we're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna meet some of the people, and then we're gonna end it. Right. So this is the lobby. I love this music. It's a real vibe. Summer door closed for the winter. Okay, so we're in winter. Good to know. I mean, we kind of saw it already, but it was raining, so it couldn't be, right? This is where the lyrics would be. A big old karaoke mic just waiting for someone to sing into it. Yeah. The speaker is connected to the radio. The music is seasoned with static. To the radio, like the radio, or is it like a radio stuff with like a loudspeaker? That is like the area around.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul.
They do. My soul's cubic content is obscured by the hangover.
Of course, at this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside. It needs to be heard.
Yes, exactly. This is why we need to scream it all out.
Through a PA system. By other people.
Oh yes, we need to do that. This goes well with a theory I'm developing that I'm a down-on-my-luck superstar person.
Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline?
Exactly.
Yes, sounds likely. You should probably go on stage and pose for a moment when you're done with this thought. See if it works.
Oh, definitely. What should I sing, though?
You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought it was obvious.
Sometimes the obvious things aren't that obvious. We don't realize what we want. But of course, they really get a gauge on my soul with that one.
Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off their face.
Yeah,
with
let
your
them
sad,
all be
tragic
sad.
Small church song. Who's laughing now? No one.
Exactly, I'm not laughing, nobody else gets to laugh.
You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed.
Right, I'm on it, boss. Feels right, you belong here. Yes. Right, I'm a superstar, I know it. The menu has been wiped clean, only the word Monday is written on it. A woman's hand wrote yesterday's menu, today starts in a man's handwriting. Okay. So normally a woman might be attending the bar, or whatever this is. This is a water cooler, a large bubble is rising to the surface. The door is bolted, a sign reads kitchen reserved for personnel until 1300. The soft purr of an electric juicer comes from the kitchen. Someone is working. Right, so we do have... Right, they're preparing the meals, probably.
A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again.
Gart, the cafeteria manager. How do I know his name is Gart? Interesting. I do know things.
That was disdain in his eyes. Even now he is purposely ignoring you. Looks like he's not a fan.
What's wrong? Don't you like the officer? Look at the stuffed bird.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings broken. The man is trying to mend it.
Alright.
Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it, most likely on a wall.
We couldn't have anything to do with that, could we?
This is the Great Skua. The
Skua.
seabird is the symbol for the discovery of the Insulindian Isola, the part of the world you are in right now.
Insulindian Isola. I see Insula in there, I see Indian, and I see Isola, which is also kind of like island. Alright, interesting name. So we are on the Insulindian Isola, and on this island or continent or whatever it is, we are in Revachol.
Something about it makes you feel bitter.
That's a Great Skua, right?
Look, your buddy is over there.
He looks at the doors, where a man in a bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor.
Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
What do you mean, my buddy?
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead.
What's wrong? Don't you like the officer?
Oh no, you're a hero. A real hero cop.
Something sounds sarcastic to
Could the
me.
massive property damage upstairs have anything to do with this?
You're being sarcastic.
Am I? Or did you ride in, take the body down, solve the murder, and not trash my hostel room?
Oh my god, I did all these things?
No, you see, actually, you didn't. You haven't done anything even remotely useful since you got here.
What have I been doing then? Right? What exactly have I been doing? Have you seen me around?
No, I haven't seen you around. I'm not always here.
He looks down again and keeps plucking at the bird. So, if you're not here, why are you mad at me? Are you the bartender?
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
Good to know.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touchy subject.
Understood, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you know what? Fuck you. Not giving me anything. Alright. What can we look at over here? Bro over here, alright. A man is sleeping at the table wearing mud-caked boots and rolled-down overalls. The back of his shirt reads, Wild Pines, encircled by a logo with a tree.
On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Alright, pick up the pills.
Man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
Okay, I don't know why magnesium, but okay, interesting. I guess because magnesium is involved in a lot of like neural processing. It wouldn't help, I think. I haven't heard like that you use magnesium for anything like being down on your self or whatever. Let me... What's that? A bottle of rum has been knocked over. Beautiful dark liquid is spilling out. We have to sing karaoke. And we found our other shoe, right? That's nice.
The worker is in a deep slumber. Perhaps
Okay.
he's on his way to where you just came from. Into the primordial darkness.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, with the rum all next to it, I would assume so.
You gently shake his shoulder, but nothing happens. This man could probably sleep soundly in a ship's engine room.
Alright. Cool, cool. Oh yeah, this is like all the checks we're doing. That's cool. Okay. Can we turn this like... No, we can't turn it, right? Okay. What is that? A sign reads mess hall reserved for union members. Doors open 1600. Okay, so we're like 1300. This opens 1600. This opens. We have 9 o'clock. There's nothing happening. This royal pinball machine is unplugged. Cool.
Hello, sweetie.
Lena, the cryptozoologist's wife.
You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
She nods towards the man in the orange bomber jacket. Yeah, come on. I mean, okay. You know what? Okay.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone.
Alright, bespectacled man. Nice to meet you.
As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You are sure of this, but why?
Because maybe he's a Drew and Blue cop, okay. Hold on, who is he to me?
He is your half-brother.
Ooh, okay. Metaphorically, of course. Shake his hand.
Hello. I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
His grip is firm. Alright, Kim. How are you doing?
You realize he's waiting for your name.
Oh god.
This is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get creative. Conceptualize.
I don't really know my name. Just call me call me officer. Alright. Conceptualization, let's try this.
Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Alright. It's very cool, but won't I come off like a douche if I call myself that?
No, you won't. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau is one classy name, and you're one classy cop. Say it.
Alright, my name is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Yes, well.
He doesn't even process what you just said. He just moves on.
Not for a moment does he believe that's your real name. He casts it aside as an intra-departmental joke or a peculiarity he doesn't understand.
Alright.
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
I just talked to him.
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
You mean him? Yeah, I just talked to him.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews?
Yes, the police. I am aware that I'm a policeman.
Right. And the interviews?
What interviews?
At the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Maybe it's not an inter-district practice.
I think it's very cool that we go into this with like the method of approach of like what you generally do. I would assume that a policeman actually does that, or policewoman. Here in psychology, we actually do something similar where we do have like the psychopathological report where we go through every subject that you could hit, right? Some of them are optional, of course, right? We have like a couple of questions that we go through to check if everything is okay with the person, right? We have certain categories of problems that could occur in people on the psychological level, and we go through each one of them. But obviously, if with our initial questions, we ask like 1 or 2 questions that go in that direction, and if there's no evidence that something could be wrong, then we just move on to the next subject, right? And when we find out, oh, there could be something, then we go into more questions that we're doing. Oftentimes these interviews are structured beforehand. Like while in most of these detective novels, it feels like the detectives just play it by ear and go with their gut feeling. In the field of psychology, or at the very least like psychiatry, if somebody's admitted into a mental hospital for some kind of incident or some problem that they're dealing with, most of the time you have a certain list of questions, like an interview form that you go through, and you don't need to ask the questions one-to-one like you're doing, like they're on the sheet. but at the very least you need to stick close to that and try to feel out the topic and ask these questions. And then there's instructions on that says, for example, if the question is answered with no, then you can move on. Or if the question is answered with yes, you should ask this and that question, right? And then if the other question is answered with no, then you jump to the next category of questions, stuff like that, to make sure that, yes, people, like, obviously people who study psychology are reasonably intelligent and they have the capacity to memorize stuff that they're supposed to do. But it is easier, and we're just making sure that everybody doesn't forget specific categories or questions that they need to ask in order to clear up that everything is all right. There are certain things that we obviously look into just asking all the time, such as the S word, like the unaliving thing. This is always a thing that you should be asking, because oftentimes, like, people would maybe assume that people deny this, but in many cases they don't, right? In many cases, it's even the case that before an incident like this happens, people are trying to, not directly maybe, but subtly tell other people that they're kind of in that headspace and that they're feeling like doing it and whatnot. And if you would be ignoring these when admitting patients, that would be grossly negligent. And obviously you want to make sure that this is not a problem and they can reasonably distance themselves from any feelings or thoughts or even just like scenarios that they would get themselves into in that direction. But yeah, it's very cool to see like how the subtle differences are. Obviously we have to always decide between detective novels and fiction and the actual proceedings. I'm sure that cops these days have a lot of handbooks in which they also have semi-structured questions they're supposed to ask and then go to the next question and whatnot. I'm sure this is the case because these days it's common practice in a lot of fields. Yeah. No, I have not done anything with the interviews, I'm sorry.
Okay. We'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
Wait, there's a dead body? She said there was somebody hanged, but I didn't think there was a dead body in the tree. I thought somebody else would have removed that. Look, man, yeah?
Does that mean the body is no longer in the tree?
And no, it kind of doesn't.
So, the body is still in the tree.
Yeah?
This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It is obvious he would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree.
I can understand him. I would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree either.
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
The decomposing. I mean, you can be glad that it's winter because, like, I know, like, a fellow coworker who is doing medicine, and she's working at the, like, coroners at the moment, right? Pathology and whatnot, and they're dealing with bodies that are already decaying. And she says, like, in summer, in the heat like this, the body starts decaying after 2 or 3 days already, and sometimes relatives find bodies like 5 or 6 days after, like, especially with old people. Maybe they had something go on and they just had an accident and they died, and the relative comes in 5 days later and the body's already half decaying. Like, that has to be incredibly disturbing. I can't imagine. And imagine you're a police officer, you have to deal with shit like that. That's insane. The stench, the visuals, right? That the bones are already hanging out, especially if but winter, right? The cold is preserving. So in winter, obviously, you have longer time before the body starts decomposing, before all of these little grubs and the maggots and whatnot start collecting on the body. What if I told you I'm not really a police officer?
We all feel that way sometimes. There is no such thing as a police officer, I'm afraid. What remains is that there is a dead body in the tree. Someone has to figure out who put it there. If we don't, no one else will.
Alright, fair enough. Somebody gotta do the job.
And then, soon after, dead bodies would be dangling from all the trees.
This is what logically would follow, yes.
But first, we have to take it down.
Mm-hmm. How can you be so sure I'm
I
from
was
the
sent
police?
here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the Citizens Militia on your sleeve and on your back.
Ooh, so the rectangle.
I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going to set those possibilities aside. I'm not from the Inspectorate General.
Inspectorate General means Internal Affairs.
Ooh, alright.
What he
The Rat
said
Squad.
is he's not from the Rat Squad and isn't supposed to suspect such things.
I would assume that's also a derogatory term, right? I mean, internal affairs is important, right? To make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, right? Otherwise, a lot of, like, Wild West justice going on. I mean, look at America. I don't think internal affairs is doing all that great a job, but, you know, at least in some areas. You mean internal affairs?
I'm not them.
Yeah.
I'm from criminal investigation.
Right, nice, nice. You said insignia. These white rectangles, you mean?
Yes.
But they're just white
They're
rectangles.
not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of Revachol West.
Ooh, alright. Revachol Citizens Militia. And we even have like a street grid? That is fucking amazing.
I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage. But again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do your job.
Wait, halogen, does that mean like that the headlights are gonna reveal the thing? That's cool. But shouldn't I have a badge or something? Check your pockets.
You mean you don't have a badge?
It wasn't on me when I woke up.
Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I would advise you to locate it as quickly as possible. But getting the body down should still take precedence.
Yeah, if somebody runs around with my badge, they could ask questions all the time, right? People would be kind of... This is just like a mark of authority. People would be like, alright, sure, I'll tell you, officer, and in reality it's the fucking killer. But I can't remember anything.
I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I have seen officers go through worse. Much worse.
So what you're saying is...
If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But as I said, the dead body should be our #1 concern.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do that. Let's roll Kim.
After you, officer.
Yeah, thank you, officer.
Lieutenant
Or
Gitsuragi is
lieutenant.
now in your party. You can talk to him.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Right, so, lady, what are you
Hello,
up to?
sweetie.
Hey. The elderly woman turns to you with a smile.
Who's Sweetie?
Does that mean you like me?
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
Silly dimple, holy fuck, dude.
But dear, you're not for me. I'm
She
too
looks
old
into the
and too
distance.
married besides.
And too married, how can you be too married?
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
Slaps herself on the forehead.
I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Gary, okay. Her eyes glitter over the rims of her glasses as she looks up, smiling.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
You seem to be in a chair. Very sensitive super cop. Would you like to roll with me? Should I? I don't know. I don't know if you're noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I am doing or anything. Right, you know what? We're gonna go with 2 and hopefully we can excuse that with number 3.
Whatever do you mean?
Alright, she didn't get it. Fine. Nothing. I was thinking of the lyrics of a song. Wanna roll with me?
Yes. Probably Roll With Me by the Fletchers. People often quote the Fletchers at me.
That is
Morale
sad.
says it's my theme song.
That is Eve. Holy shit. And it's her husband? What the fuck? Bro, stop it. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed.
Nice to see you,
Like a
Chose.
stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
Her eyes follow your movements with some concern. I hope you're right. I hope it's not too bad. Yeah, I'm blowing this whole thing out of proportion. Forget I said anything. I drank too hard. I forgot literally. No. I hope you're right. I hope it's not that too bad.
You know where we are, right?
The Whirling in Rags cafeteria? It was on my keys.
That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located?
In Revachol?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol.
Revachol is the disgraced capital of the world, something like that?
Yes, great. See? We're getting somewhere. What else do you know about our city of splendor? Tattered as she may be.
Honestly, I don't know diddly squat about Revachol. What kind of place is this?
How would I even begin to tell you?
How would you?
Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days.
There's a pause as she studies your expression. You must look quite lost. Also very funny, like Revachol sounds very French, of course, to me, but the entire vibe the city gives me from what I've seen, from what little I've seen, like with the music and the coast and what, it feels very Londonish.
Speaking of history, you know what year it is?
Apparently it's 51, but I'm not sure. All I know is we're approaching the end times.
Perhaps, dear. Perhaps. But for now, it's just the spring of 51.
Wait, it's spring? Alright, it's not winter. Cool, but we're still we're early enough in spring to have snow.
She is perturbed by your not knowing what year it is, but not by your mention of the apocalypse. It must be the end times.
I fear as much.
The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in this now.
Yeah, and we're in this together. You better believe it, Kim.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Ooh, I'd like to think it's the dictatorship of the proletariat, but something tells me it's not. Our leaders are fierce warriors who travel the plains on steeds. Civilization cowers before us. What are we, the Mongols? The fucking Alexander the Great? What? No. This is travel the plains. That's Mongols. We are governed by intelligent machines that perform calculations to determine the freest market. Everyone hustles and grinds like a badass visionary. Deus Ex. Okay, hello. Radios are being used to control people's minds and distort our perception of reality, concealing our true masters, foreigners, and... Holy shit. Dude, this game is so amazing. All of this sounds so absurd, but a lot of these theories sound very much like theories people put out there on the internet and whatnot. We're living under the cop regime, yeah, I mean, you wish. But unfortunately, that's not the case, otherwise everybody would be automatically respecting you despite all the drinking. I think I'd like to think that some kind of democracy, maybe?
Nope. Sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control.
Ooh, okay.
Under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition.
Yeah,
we have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
Market-driven democracy.
Meaning, buying is voting.
Alright, cool. So, basically... Oh, holy shit. If there's no government, how come there are cops? I don't even know what to say. I'm so disappointed.
It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of representation. There's talk, but for now, the RCM is all we've got.
We are all they got, holy shit. If there's no government, how come there are cops?
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense.
The militia.
The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution.
What was this goddamn revolution?
But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
Alright. Takes somebody great to notice that, right? Where your limitations are. What is the revolution you mentioned?
Defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different.
It's still very vague.
The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
The hell happened? Communism? What does that have to do with there not being any cops?
It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better.
Alright. So how did I do?
You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality, in a word. It's very odd.
Yeah, it's called amnesia.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
Bro's gonna report me.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Yeah, I mean, I've been remembering things, right? Well, slowly, certain knowledge is ingrained into us and stuff is coming back to us. We're gonna be fine, alright? We're gonna be fine. Who could tell me more?
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
He turns to the lieutenant.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Alright, so he doesn't want to talk about it, and maybe he also thinks he's not suited to actually go through all of that. Makes sense.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
So Martinez is not, is more of a workers' quarter, I guess. I mean, makes sense with talking about dock workers and unions. I've got to get going now.
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
She gives you a small wave. We'll ask her later why she's in the wheelchair, maybe not with our first meeting. Report your badge missing, interview cafeteria manager, inspect victim's body, and get a reality lockdown. You have no idea where you are. Lena encouraged you to ask others to explain the world to you in greater detail. Perhaps try a rich person. Rich people are educated. Of course they are. Inspect the body hanging in the backyard of the whirling in Rex. This is preliminary inspection. You just need to suppress the urge to throw up and approach it. God. 7 fucking days. The cafeteria manager of the Burning in Rex might know something about the murder that happened in the yard. Ask him about it. Alright. This is probably our first station because it's very close. You need to report your missing badge to the 41st precinct as soon as possible. The lieutenant said that you can use the radio in the motor car to call your station. This is probably the second thing we want to be doing. Alright, dude. Yeah, karaoke. That is a long-term goal, I'd say. Okay. Yeah. And saved. With that, I would say we bring this episode of Disco Elysium to a close. I am very happy to see that you've tuned in, and maybe some of you, 1 or 2 of you, have been watching to the end. This is a very extensive game. It's probably gonna be pretty long, and I don't know how fast we're gonna roll through it. It depends on how many people are watching this, and also on how much time I do have besides the reaction stuff and my university and my work and all of that stuff. But I do hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know how you think the audio balancing is, if there's something I could adjust. It always helps me to kind of just put it together. Also, do tell me how you think of the camera. I'm using like my normal webcam here because it feels like it's a lot less storage space, so I can make longer episodes. But I could maybe find a way to prop up my more detailed camera and put it on a USB connection to use it here in OBS, and that's going to be 720p, but for such a small window as we're using it right here, it should be perfectly fine. So we could be setting that up as well and try it out, but that really depends on how you yourself perceive this. We can also play without the camera. I don't mind that either, right? That might even be easier for me to not just have to prop up the camera and the lights and whatnot. But if this enhances your experience the way I'm in the camera and I'm also smiling sometimes or reacting in certain ways, then obviously do let me know and we'll keep this up. we're also maybe playing some other games down the line. Maybe if Disco Elysium isn't that much of a hit, I have had other games that I wanted to play through, that I actually wanted to finish sometime. Baldur's Gate 3, for example, I started out, and I've played like a couple of hours into Act 1, probably halfway through Act 1. And after that, I actually stopped it because, you know, right, I can't finish, especially like super long games, it's very hard to finish because you get lost in them, but other things get in the way in reality. Baldur's Gate 3, I also had my eye on Shadow of the Erdtree, right, the DLC for Elden Ring. I've played through all of Elden Ring, beat Melania with a great sword of all things. I was really proud of that, without any help, without anything extra. It took me not hundreds, but it took me quite a few tries, and I think 2 or 3 days of actually trying it to actually beat her, but I'm really excited about Shadow of the Erdtree. I'm gonna play this on my own anyway. Same goes for Baldur's Gate 3, although I don't know when I would be playing that on my own, right, with the time it takes. But Shadow of the Erdtree I'm really looking forward to, and I've also had my eye on like Wukong, right? Black Myth Wukong. The new game from China, actually, one of the few games from China that actually talks about Chinese history a little bit, at least like mythology and whatnot. So that was a very interesting one, which, especially since it's kind of like Souls-like-ish inspired, I would have loved to look into that one. So if that is something that you are interested in, maybe I'll do a poll on YouTube in a week or two and see how you feel about that, or maybe I'll just buy it and start it up. Depends on what's going on. Either way, I do hope you enjoyed this, and I hope I'll see you next time on whatever I'm bringing out. Check out my reactions, check out the Discord down below, or my Patreon if this is something for you. Terminus out.